later. One of the great things about these conventions are that, as fans, we have the opportunity to fanboy and fangirl or fandog out over guests and artwork and comics and things of that nature. For you, having been at a bunch of conventions and a lot of other functions, who do you fanboy out over?
Oh wow, that's a great question. Well, I tell you what I love. I mean, what I love about these conventions is it's just a wonderful opportunity for everyone to get together and celebrate elements of pop culture that we're all collectively into. And you know, certainly there's many things that that I really enjoy from from science fiction stuff, whether it's Star Wars, Star Trek, or great shows like Doctor Who. I met David Tennant today. I was annoyed because I was just starting to have a conversation with him and someone else came up and interrupted and started to have a conversation and I'm like, buddy, what is Anyway, but I think he's extraordinary. I really did. I mean, I love what Matt Smith did. I mean, he was also very brilliant. But to me, I love David Tennant because I think he really benefited. I mean, obviously, an extraordinary gifted actor, but he also benefited from the wonderful writing of Russell T Davies. I think it was a particularly special and unique time for Doctor Who, and I greatly enjoy sitting down watching it with my boys, and I have just great admiration and respect for all that sort of stuff. And then just a wonderful opportunity for me to meet the fans. It's like, when you do theatre, you get a pretty immediate idea of whether something that you've done is appreciated or not, or a joke is funny, and it's not often until you get into a situation like this where you get an opportunity to meet people that you get feedback if you're working in the mediums of film and television. So I really enjoy it, and I enjoy the fun, festive spirit of people dressing up and expressing themselves, and it's just so cool. I love going around the streets before and after, and you're walking down at night and you see some guy walking down the road with a lightsaber, and it's kind of cool and surreal, and it's just great that for these couple of days that you guys get to essentially do what we do. Yeah, thank you for the question.
Thank you.
Hi. Hey, you can lift it up.
So I'm a big fan of IMAX movies that use IMAX cameras, and I've ever wondered that you were in 2 scenes in the darkness that use IMAX cameras, but from what I understand, they're a huge pain on set, and I guess I was wondering what it's like was it exciting, was it cool to just make things start to work? Does it sound like a chainsaw or something from what I've heard?
Yeah, when you're working with a when you're working with an IMAX camera, it is loud. There's a constant kind of buzz that comes out of the camera, and the amount of film that it actually can hold or something is limited. So there's only a limited amount of time. I think it's like 60 seconds or something like that. I could be wrong on that, but from what I recollect, that was the case. But apart from that, there's no real great difference, and it's obviously lends a unique quality to the film, and I'm a big fan of that. I mean, the negative on that is extraordinary. It just captures so much detail, and I feel pretty blessed to work with directors like with J.J. Abrams, who insists on still using film. Not that I have anything against the technology of digital. It's really come a long way. In fact, I just shot a film on digital. It's a Disney movie it's a remake called Pete's Dragon. But you can definitely, the DP would go to extraordinary lengths to replicate the look of film. Whether it's adding in more atmos, which is like a smoke that they add in to the air, just to sort of, I guess, take down some of the harsher qualities of digital. Yeah, so I mean, I certainly hope film never goes away. I think it's pretty special. Thank you. Thank you. Sorry. Beautiful.
Dredd voice. It was really deep and really gravelly. What do you have to say about any criticisms that it was borrowed from the Batman movies around the time?
Oh, that's an interesting question. I never heard that before, but I could see how some people could come to that conclusion. What I did is I based my research on reading the comics, and in the graphic novel, I remember there was one particular panel that described Dredd's voice, and it said that his voice sounded like a saw cutting through bone. So I went to the local butcher. So the voice that I did in the movie was, some sort of my approximation of what that was. And unlike, from what I believe, Christian Bale's awesome Batman, his voice when he did Batman, they actually did something to it in the computer, I think, to lower it, or to put some effect on it, whereas in Dredd we didn't. It was just achieved by putting my mouth extraordinarily close to I'm drinking a lot of whiskey. Or Gatorade, the case may be. 9 and 10-year-olds in the audience. Thank you very much for your question.
Yes.
Carl, it's a pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you.
My question is regarding Almost Human. It's a shame that they didn't Fox scale on that. My question to you is, what do you think? How do you think that show was coming along as far as it got? And where do you think you would have liked to see the show and your character go if it had made the full season and continue on in future seasons?
Well, that's a great question. Thank you very much. Firstly, I'm extraordinarily proud of that show. It was amazing to work on, and particularly working with Michael Ealy and the fantastic cast and crew on that. I mean, they just really were marvelous to work on, and it was a hard show to work on. We were shooting 6-day weeks, sometimes up to 17 hours a day, and it was tough going in the end. I know a few details about ideas that were kind of planned, particularly in terms of exploring what was on the other side of the wall, which I thought was really, really interesting. So the idea that there's this aspect of the city behind the wall that is this sort of hidden dystopian kind of